Ciao, everybody. My name is Anthony. Welcome back to Inter Worldwide. It is that time again. The games, they are coming around quick and fast, and they are not going to slow down. And this one's going to be a tough one. It's going to be a real grind in this one. You might just see another 120 minutes of football here, and that would be not good because the Serie A that waits around the corner from this is very important. And we sort of have a small little crack in a window here to anybody that saw my short this morning. So I think that this is going to be a very interesting fixture approach-wise. I'm very curious to see how Inzaghi goes for this Atalanta game, to see if anybody gets rested. And I'm hoping that some people in the chat can help us out a little bit. Help me out a little bit, because I haven't done as much housekeeping on the predicted lineups as I would have liked to tonight on a Monday, 7 p.m. Fixture is at 7 a.m. on a Wednesday. 7 a.m. on a Wednesday for me, so I won't get to watch pretty much any of the game. I'm just very curious to see if Inzaghi is going to poach a full team for this game. I wouldn't, but we'll get to the lineups pretty soon. Small crowd here so far, but that's okay. 12 people, which is still nice. Nice to see Emiliano in the chat. And Rocky, let me know who else is in the chat. Let me know who else is coming in, and we'll get started pretty much straight away. And my guest, Toyan, should be arriving pretty soon, whenever he's ready. He says he's in the lobby waiting, but I can't see him anywhere, so I'm just going to message him one more time. and then we'll see what happens. Can't see you, man. Unless I've given him the wrong one, possibly. But I don't think I have. It's just not letting him join. But that's all right. I'll let him try a couple of times, and then we'll see how we go. I'm just going to see if I posted him the right link. Just give me 1 sec, guys. Give me 1 sec. No, I think I've got the wrong one. All right. I think I've given you the wrong one, man. Sorry about that, bro. I'll send it to you now. Just hang tight. All right. Atalanta. They're playing fantastic football. You can't deny it. How you going, Tim? They're probably playing the second best football in the league after Napoli. They are scoring goals for fun, as they do. And Gasperini just knows exactly what he's doing with this team. I thought they were going to look weaker at the start of the season, but they're still just sniffing around that top 4 spot, like we know that they will for the rest of the campaign. So the question needs to be asked now, once again, how badly does Atalanta want the Coppa Italia? How bad does Atalanta want the Coppa? Do they want to go for it? Does Gasperini see this as a window to get a trophy? Gasperini might be looking at this going, you know what? I get past Inter, who aren't in the best spirit at the moment and who are still looking at their top 4 run as well. It's going to be rough. It's going to be a rough game. And my brother's here, so it's good to bring him in. What's going on, man?
I hope you can hear. Can you hear me well?
I can hear you very well, bro.
Nice. My brother Anthony from down under. How are you doing? How are you? The missus, the dog. How you been? Long time no see.
Everyone's doing well, man. Everyone's keeping well. Everyone's keeping busy as well. And how are you and the beautiful family in the most polite part of the states of the United?
It's the tundra right now. It's tundra, man. It's like, I don't know what it is in Celsius, but it's like negative, like 5 Fahrenheit. But yeah, no, we're doing good. We're doing good. Everything's good.
It's going to be busy, bro. It's going to be busy. Like, you know, we're going to blink and we've got Atalanta, who are just like, they're looking like Pete Gasperini once again, bro. Like Pete Gasperini. Lookman is an absolute baller. I was on Coop Miner's ass when he was playing for Alkmaar in the Eredivisie, and now I just think he's just such a disciplined player, man. Like that's the sort of guy you want in your midfield for 38 games a season. And, you know, we can get started on the rest when I bring the lineup on, but how are you feeling going into this week, man? And while I've got you here, because I don't get you here more often, rather than talk about how you're feeling this week, how you feeling with the weekend that's passed in the last week and a half? Because once and again, as topsy-turvy as it gets.
No, you literally talked about it correct. Being an Inter fan is like being on a roller coaster. You get the highs of the highs and you get the lows of the lows. We go from smacking Napoli, the team that's undefeated in the league, by a tremendous and convincingly performance, to then we head over to Monza and we played absolute crap, and then we flipped it around, went over to the Middle East and smacked our rivals in the Super Coppa 3-0, and then from there once again we come around and we fumble the bag against Empoli, and then we get this drop thing against Milan, the elephant in the room. So it's just been like crazy. Like and Inter, I know every club has their issues, but I feel like our issues is mainly internal. Like it's against ourselves. It's Inter versus Inter. And every time we're about to get somewhere, we hold ourselves back. Some teams, they're dealing with injuries. Some teams, they're dealing with, you know, case and money laundering, whatever you want to call. But us is like very avoidable stuff. And it's just been really tough. And we couldn't even enjoy anything. And it's just happened. And it's been like that for the past 3 years. We win the Scudetto. We lose Conte, Lukaku, Hakimi right after. Not even like, we didn't even get to celebrate maybe a full 3 days or whatever. And then we come into last season. We win the Super. We win again the Coppa Italia. We're so close to winning the title. But then again, we're over here talking about losing players and this, that. So it's just been crazy.
Of course, man. The only way that we really know how to do it. What's going on, Ian? Good to see you as well. Same as Rocky. Look, man, Borga can destroy us with the pace. Yeah, we have been Atalanta's bogey team for a while now, after being whipping boys to them for a few seasons as well. What's going on, Senor Figo? Always good to see you, my bro. Tim says the only thing making this month better for us is the fact that Milan and Juve have been absolutely demoralized. Look at Hoyan, bro. This guy. I love it.
I was on YouTube right now before I joined with you, and I was like, let me watch the Milan highlights. And they give you two types of highlights. You get the short versions, like 3 minutes, Sarah posts, and then we get an extended highlight. I very rarely, Anthony, watch extended highlights, but I was like, I need to watch this misery of Milan just to make myself feel better. I sat there and watched 19 minutes of that.
It's bad, man. It's bad. I was wrong. Like I thought they were looking good at the start of the season. I thought, man, they've got grit. Like they always look like they're gonna bag a goal, always. But the last 7 to 8 games, they've just been really, really poor. Like sackable level form poor for Pioli. Players looking absolutely weak, and yeah, I don't know. Like, but now's the best time to play them. But we all know what happens when you go into games like that too confident. You end up coming away bleeding. So it would not surprise me one bit to see us get turned over by Milan.
True. That's this Derby fashion. Derby fashions. It don't matter what form you're in, and you know what I mean. And whatever you could be the highest of the highs. And last season, to be honest, both times they beat us, or one time they beat us, I think we drew the other one where Lautaro missed the penalty. We were the better team, especially in the first half. We just let them linger around and then came out. And then so yeah, Derby's form goes out the window, but they are horrendous. Like I'm talking. I know they want to blame their keeper, was it Chacho Lozano, whatever his name is.
Yeah, but he's not good. He's
He's
really
not good, but
bad.
at the same time, like Tamori, Kalulu, all these players, they just making schoolboy error mistakes, and it's just affecting the whole team. And then the same thing we have going on with Skriniar, they have going on with Leao with the contract issue. So that and literally, it's funny though, because we've been talking about this, how last season Milan was literally that left hand side, get the ball to Leao, and inshallah he's gonna do something. That's how they were, and now they're figured out. Their one trick pony's gone, and I think everybody's seeing who they are right now.
Yeah, fair. Thanks to the 18 people that are with us right now. What's good, Balkan Warrior? Good to see you. Yeah, so they haven't been good, but also we haven't been great. But we did our job against Cremonese and got 3 points where it counts. And now we're sitting in second
Second,
place. So
it's so
not
funny.
like we've played 7 games, I think, already. Since the new year started in 30 days. That's a lot of games.
Too much
And
games.
we've got 5. Do we have 5 wins? 5 wins, a draw, and a loss.
Yep, I think so. You're right. Yeah, I think the only one that we lost was against Empoli, and the only one we drew against Moza. Everything else was W's.
Man, maybe sometimes we are a little harsh, bro. It's just, but as you said, bro, it's Inter against Inter. It's none of the. How often do
Literally,
we get to walk away from a game that doesn't go our way and go, man, it just wasn't our day. Man, we just missed a couple of chances. We're really unlucky there. Hell no. There's always moments in the game where there's always some sort of self sabotage that's so avoidable on all fronts.
100%, 100%. And then I don't know if you're gonna talk about the Milan situation, but this Milan situation could have been avoided so much. And we talked about it extensively in the group chat. We always praise Pepe Marotta for what he's done, but we have to put this, like, I see so many people put this on Suning. I understand Suning, but Suning has already told us what the limitation is. They say we don't have no money. Suning didn't say, let's keep Milan Skriniar, from my opinion. They were willing to sacrifice to get the money. But because I think Marotta was being hard-headed, egotistic, and he was thinking he's going to get more for this guy than the 50 million or whatever was reported that was being offered. And the other version I also have against Milan Skriniar is, listen, brother, if you already agreed personal terms and you wanted to leave, because he wanted to leave because he already signed with it, just force the hand, just like Lukaku did. Was it last summer or the 2 summers ago, where he was like, "Hey guys, I'm done. Just sell me." Don't stick around 6 months, making us happy, putting on the captain's armband, giving us hopes, and then doing a bombshell exit like this. Like, I don't know about you, Anthony, but I'm losing respect for Milan Skriniar the day by day, and I hope to God we get rid of this guy.
Yeah, bro. If there's anything above 15, 20 million, we might just have to say yes in January. But then I would start to fear for our top 4 hopes. I don't know if we're in a position where we could replace him in even at the end of the season. Obviously, we don't have time to replace him now. We've got, 2.5 days in the market. So I'd have to wake up to something in the next 2 days that would suggest that someone's coming in to replace Skriniar if he is leaving in January. I don't think he's going in January, man. I think the guy is going to stay with us until the end of the season, and he's just going to have to wear the booze on his shoulders. If he gets booed, he gets booed. And that's one of the talking points here as well, man. Like, well, what are you thinking about it? Like, do you think he'll get booed at San Siro? Or do you think Do you think that they're going to just treat him really shit?
I think just like we are, it's going to be 50-50. I just hate the fact that his agent is doing interviews live during our match, and the performance he had during Empoli, which cost us the 3 points, even though we were playing, shit from the start, but at the same time, that definitely did not help. And then I don't think his heart and mind is not it. I don't think he's Ivan Perisic, where Ivan was on extending contract, but he was playing his ball. He gave us his best season on his last season with Inter. I don't think that's going to happen in the scenario of how things have been dragging. And I was hearing reports that he actually wants to push the move now, that he's asking Inter to sell him right now. And I agree with you. It's going to be very difficult to find a replacement within, however, I think 48 hours. I think it closes on Tuesday or whatever. I don't know how many hours left on this transfer window. But if he does come to the San Siro and is on the pitch, I hope he's not wearing the captain's armband, first of all.
Yeah, facts, man. You can't be doing that. You can't be doing that.
No. And
Nah.
if he's going to stay with us, give us your best. Let's end on a high note. That's all we ask for. It's not your fault, and it's not the fans' fault. If you want to have a grudge with the owners, if you want to have a grudge with the management, let's do it that. But we did nothing but respect you. We did nothing but every time the management tried to sell Skriniar, we were like, hey, you better watch out what you're doing. This is our dog. You know what I mean? And I don't know. I just want to be done with it, in my opinion, and move on. And I know it's going to put top four in jeopardy, but at the same time, if top four was open, this is the year open, because everybody else is dealing with their own bureaucracy, as I say it.
That's it, man. Everyone's dealing with their own dirty bedrooms at the moment. This is our laundry. We're trying to take it out in peace, and we're crawling, man. I still think in the grand scheme of things, we're still making like these small baby steps and progress. And I know it's hard to see that now in a way, especially now. But when I still see us collecting those little wins, like, we've got 4 trophies in 2.5 seasons. And that's a fact. We're still collecting more trophies than anybody in the country. We're through to the round of 16 in the Champions League. Things are not dire. We are Inter, and we will live through anything. And this situation that we're in right now is living proof that we can still walk through hell and get burned, and we're still just going to come out of the other end no matter what, bro.
That's absolutely correct. Like definitely when it comes to, if you really look at the minor issues, you're going to be like, yes, but at the same time, look at the big picture. Top 4 is number 1 goal. And we said this before. We've been saying top 4 vibes. Let's just get used to that. Because once we lost the 5th match, top 4 vibes is where it's at. You know what I mean? It wasn't going to be a year. And let's get as far as we can in the Champions League. If we beat Porto and we get a favorable side of the bracket, we can make a run. Last season, if we would have got past Liverpool, I don't think we would have faced a big team. Villa, I think, not many teams that was going to stand against us in the final. So that would have been an easy path. So let's get somewhere good in the Champions League. Top 4 secured. Let's regroup in the summer, see where we're at.
Yeah, fair. That was a really, really good pre-chat, man. We've got 22 people with us here right now, which is great. So everyone, like the video, let me know where you're from and if you are new, and let's start talking Atalanta. All right, let's do it. This is going to be a good game. This is going to be a really good game. 2 very good managers, 2 managers that know what it takes to win, 2 managers that have never been shy at going at each other before. And the last time we played them and went to Bergamo, and no one was more surprised than yours truly when we got 3. When we went out of there with, did we beat them 3-1 or 3-2?
It was. I know it was a convincing win. I don't remember the exact score, but it was a convincing win.
I forget if we beat them 3-1 or if they pulled one back like really
late. I could
late.
check right now.
Yeah, all I know is that we were up 3-1 and things were looking really good. I think it was 3-2.
3-1. 3-1.
We beat him 3-1. There you go.
Yep.
That's awesome. We beat him 3-1, and it was a really, really nice win. I did not expect it one bit. I think Toro scored a goal in that game. I'm not too sure who else did. I'm pretty sure Dzeko got on the score sheet in that game as well. But it was a good game of football, and Gasperini, he'll play a strong lineup against us. I actually think he's going to go for the throat and think, I'm a few wins away here. I'm playing good football from a trophy. I might as well go for it. I don't actually think that we're coming out of this one on top. I'm going to say it early, and I'll go into a deeper prediction later. I know we're at home, but I can really see us being pegged back here, being that we played against Cremonese, not great. We did more than we needed to do. Like, I didn't feel too threatened towards the end there. but this is going to hit us like a ton of bricks, this playing Atalanta, because they're the best opposition we've faced since we've played Napoli. What are you thinking, Hoy?
No, I 100% agree. They're firing all cylinders. I think the last 4 matches I was looking at it, they scored less than 3 goals. They destroyed Salernitana. I think it was like 8 something. The next game, I think they put up 5. They drew with Juve 3-3 in Turin. But this is the thing though. It's so funny is Inter, when we least expect them to do anything, they come out big. You know what I mean? Like Napoli, we were like, okay, if we get a draw out of it, whatever. They come out playing one of their best performances. And then they do that same thing. But the thing, I got a trivia question though. When was the last time Atalanta beat Inter, regardless if it's home or away? Do you remember?
Could it be when they beat us 4-1 at their ground and it was 1-0 at halftime? Icardi scored a penalty like 2-3 minutes after the break and then they just whooped our ass?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I think that was what, 2016, I want to say?
17, 18, I reckon it was.
2018 November.
Yeah.
And
I remember that game because that's one of our very famous 10 p.m. Sunday kickoff times. And I remember I was actually having a conversation with Bruno and I think maybe Sama at the time as well. Definitely Bruno. And I just saw the first goal go in and I thought, we're dead. We're done. We're finished. I've got to stop.
We should have lost 5-0 at the first half. Like
we got walloped in that game, bro.
and then out of nowhere, started the second half, we got a penalty. You're like, okay, we can come back. And then they clobbered us after that. But no, it's so crazy though. A team like Atalanta has not beat us, what 6, if my math is right, 6, 7 almost years. So we got that on our side.
Yeah, fair. All right. I don't know why, but I was looking for a graphic for this one, but I couldn't find anyone with a probable formation with a disposizione in campo, with a position fielding as well. So the most consistent lineups that I found were pretty much rounded up to this here. And to answer your question, Emiliano, yes, Barella will be starting. He's gotten a yellow card suspension in Serie A. These sort of suspensions don't carry over to cups. He will be suspended for 1 Serie A game, I'm pretty sure. Or he's only 1 game away from being suspended, and that's why he was pulled by Inzaghi in the last game. But
no, regardless, he was suspended last match.
He was suspended last match, wasn't he? Against Cremonese. That's right. He didn't feature. Yeah. So that was his serving. So he'll be back in this game. He's someone that you can almost lock in unless Inzaghi has some sort of motive, because he'll be well rested for this game. And you're not asking too much of Barella to back up a midweek game of Atalanta to play the derby against Milan. He's done some tougher stints before. He can do it. So when I see that lineup up there, I'm confident that this team can put up a very, very good fight, and I'm confident that this team can really tire Atalanta out, because this should be the best team and the best defense that Atalanta has also come up against in recent weeks since they've been smacking teams. We've got a better defense than Juventus. I don't care what anybody says. They are horrible defensively, in my opinion. Even if they did go on that run of 7 or 8 games where they didn't concede a goal, they were playing against opposition that didn't want the ball to begin with for 90 minutes anyway. So I like that lineup. I don't like Correa in there. I would rather put Dzeko in there, to be honest. Or if you really want to rest Dzeko for the derby, because he's our best striker besides Lautaro, I guess. But play Lukaku. That's a good time to play Lukaku. I wouldn't mind Lukaku starting this game. It's only Atalanta, big boy. Prove something, right?
Anybody but Correa. The man, like every match I see, I just want to go into my kitchen, get a fork and stick it in my eye. Like, the man is absolutely useless. Like, he's supposed to be our best dribbler. The man sometimes can't control the ball. He makes horrible runs. The guy is just losing confidence and ability as day goes on. And I don't want to see him anywhere near the lineup. To be honest, I don't even want to see him subbed on, because he offers nothing anymore, Anthony. What does this man offer?
Oh, he's horrible, bro. He's our worst player on the pitch every time he's on there, man. His confidence and his lack of confidence, I should say, has now just trickled in his inability to send a message from brain to muscle. It just looks horrible, bro. Like, he's lost whatever edge that made him a professional footballer. And when you even lose a fraction of that at this level, you're done. And he's losing it quickly, very quickly, bro. Lucky he's got his looks, man, because he's going to need it, bro. He's heading for an early retirement, I reckon.
I'm glad you talked about the looks, because remember that time there was this case about us swapping him for, what was his name? The Netherlands guy who plays for Barcelona. Depay, was it? Is that it? people were talking. They're like, "Oh my God, he looks good, man. If he looks good, he could play good." And I'm just laughing in the comments. Barcelona fans talking about that. I was like, "Yeah, no, you have no idea what's you got gonna get involved." But no, I'm just, man. I'm sorry, Corey. And the thing that I cannot swallow is we wasted 30 million on this man. 30 million in a time we don't have money to waste. You know what I mean? Between him and Gosens, we literally threw away 50 million down the dumpster. That could have been 30 million or 50 or whatever million we could spend on Enzo Fernandez before he went to Benfica or Julian Alvarez. You know what I mean? It just, that kills me. But no, enough about Correa. I don't have it. But I'm surprised Skriniar is on this list, to be honest. I doubt that he's going to play this game, in my opinion.
It would be very soon, wouldn't it, after everything that's happened? Very,
Mm-hmm.
very soon, bro. A little bit too soon. I think it's probably best to play Acerbi in his role there if De Vrij is fit.
Yeah.
But De Vrij's going to just get turned like he did last time. So I'd rather not see De Vrij anywhere near the pitch as well. Like, to be honest, I know that renewing him might be the only way forward and logical way now because of the whole Skriniar debacle, but I'm not impressed with that renewal one bit, man. Like, that's not where I want it to be. And that's not what I wanted going into next season, because unless someone puts a little bit of money up in the Mercato, or unless, like, call me crazy, bro, but if he walked for free and we just got a youngster in for him, I wouldn't call it crazy either.
Nothing wrong with that. Yeah, the guy served us well. We got him on a free transfer. He gave us good. He gave us his prime, and I think it's time to cut the cord because he offers absolutely nothing. Like, I did not think I was going to be sitting here telling you that Iturbe has like opened my eyes, because De Vrij shouldn't even be near anywhere. And Iturbe, we all screamed, "No, bring this guy! No, no, no!" And then he literally locked down Osimhen, the most hottest striker in the Italian league right now, and the man locked him down. I don't even think he had any shot on target. But yeah, no, De Vrij, I will let him go. Skriniar is going to leave already. Let's get some young blood.
Yeah,
Let's
100%.
rejuvenate.
No better time to do it than right now, man. That's the direction that we're gonna have to head into, whether we like it or not. Because even when we do eventually have to phase out the ownership and get new owners in, who's to say that they're just gonna come in and splash straight away? You don't want to go in with that mentality. We need to just still be very conservative, no matter who we're under, no matter what regime we are under.
Yeah.
This is a good comment, because I actually think that you're on point here. Do not discount Inzaghi's ability to start Gagliardini in a game like this either, if he wants to lock up that midfield that is going to move quickly. Don't get me wrong, that midfield of Pasalic, Ruggeri, Koopmeiners, and Darun and Hateboer, it's going to be ugly when they start drifting all across the park. Such good players. If we're lucky, they'll start Zapata and Muriel. If we're lucky, bro. If we're lucky, Lookman gets a little bit of rest. What are you saying?
First of all, Gagliardini, this man needs to, and I tweeted about this. He needs to make a Netflix documentary of how he survived at Inter for 6 years under 3 or 4 managers.
Yeah.
Not only has the guy survived, he's thriving, Anthony. This man benched Christian Eriksen in a European Cup final. This man literally, Conte, one of the best managers in the world, chose this man to be playing in there. Simone Inzaghi still likes him. Spalletti, like, these are top managers here. You know what I mean? And for this guy to last so long, to the point where he's our captain during the match, I'm sorry, but he needs to write a book. He needs to do a Netflix documentary, how I survived 6 years as faking a professional footballer, because I don't know what this guy is putting in people's drinks or what he's doing in the backgrounds. But goodness God, how is Gagliardini in 2023 still at Inter? Please, someone tell me in the chat. I don't know, bro.
It's absolutely bizarre, bro. It looks like we're not gonna renew his contract. And when the time comes that he does leave, I'm sure everyone will kind of be a little bit sad, to be honest, just because the banter's over, bro. But
I think we should do a
loyal
parade for him.
Yeah.
I think, like, you're right. I think it's the final banter player that's leaving. And you know what I mean? Like, sometimes you celebrate when good things happen, and this is very good. We no longer have to see Gaggy come on the pitch. Either he starts or, and like, imagine how happy we're going to be when we go through the roster at the beginning of 2023 season and he's not on there. I'm going to be, that's one of my check marks. Like, I'm going to be happy. The Mercato's already started well at that point.
100%, bro. Let's have a look at this rival lineup here, because it does look good. Even their defense, man. Toloi, we know with no Demiral. If you're asking me if we can't get Scalvini, I'd love Demiral at Inter. I don't care what anyone says. I think he's a beast. Like, that's such a good lineup, bro. That's such a good looking lineup. It looks better than ours. Does it? Does it look better than ours?
If you go by name, I don't think it would be, but if you go by performance at the moment, they are a little bit hotter than we are, definitely. And I wouldn't be surprised if they got Boga in there or if they got Lukman in there. I think they're just too hot to sit down. You know what I mean? Maybe at least start them and then take them off halfway. But I think this match is just going to come down to who wants it more, to be honest. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If Inter and the thing we need to give credit for Simone Inzaghi, as much as we kind of dog him, he is great at cup matches, like the Champions League, like the Coppa, like the one-off finals. Like, the man has not put a foot wrong so far, and that's maybe he struggles with the marathon, the leagues kind of, but I think when it comes to the cup match, he's amazing. So I'm 100% sure he's gonna have these guys up and running, and I think because of this Skriniar situation, I hope he's not on the bench, he's not on the lineup, and that we could just go out there and make this example like, hey, we're ready to move on from this.
Wouldn't that send some message if Skriniar was on the bench for this game, bro?
Definitely at this point where the man is talking about he already accepted a contract. It's just the way he did it. It's just if Skriniar accepts his contracts and says, hey, I'm leaving at the end of June, that's great. There's nothing wrong with that. You know what I mean? But the fact that they just prolonged it this long and kept it quiet for whatever reason, I would have loved this to come out before the World Cup. And then afterwards, we have some time to, move around and digest it. But not when we're going against fixtures and matches. But enough about this guy. I don't want to talk, but I hope that they come out and do a performance. But a Coppa Italia, I think I'm satisfied. I don't know about you. From the Coppa Italia, I feel like the league and the Champions League is our main focus right now, to be honest.
100%, man. Like, I can still get excited for this game to an extent, but in my head, if we go out now, we go out now. If we can beat Atalanta at home, especially in 90 minutes, I'll jump it up a gear excitement-wise and go, all right, cool. Now Inzaghi's like in prime. He's like fight the final boss mode now, Inzaghi. He's up to his last stage. He knows how to get there from here. We can start thinking about a trophy now. But for me now, we're still in the outskirts of the excitement bracket for the Coppa because it's an opponent that I expect to make this difficult for us. I'm very thankful that I don't have to watch this game. I'll be on my way to work. I will not be watching this game because I do think we'll be on the back foot for majority of it. The most optimistic I can do you, Hoyan, bro, and everybody in the chat. No news on Brozo yet, Balkan. In my opinion, I don't think you're in any of the chats that I talk a lot of negativity in, but in my opinion, he could be the next one out the door, man. Like, this guy will not be happy with the way things have gone down with people that he is close with in the locker room, put it that way. And this guy's going to be losing a retiring Handanovic, Skriniar, and Perisic in the space of a season. This guy will be leaving quite soon, in my opinion. But I could be very wrong about that. The best I can give you guys is extra time for me. Extra time, I think we can get to extra time at 1-1 or 2-2. After that, whatever happens, I don't know. I'd really like for it to not go into penalties. Our friend Mario Galliano loves penalties. He wouldn't care if Inter were in the Champions League final. He would still want them to go to penalties. But for me, I don't want penalties and I don't want extra time because the backing it up in the derby is going to be really tough for Jan. So I'll go 2-2 at the end of normal time. Goals for Toro and Hakan. And yeah, maybe we can win 3-2 in extra time. But I wouldn't be surprised if we lost 4-2 in extra time, if that makes sense.
No, definitely. Once again, it's just going to come up to who's going to be wanting it more. It is being played in the San Siro. It's probably going to have a really packed crowd. And shout out to the San Siro, though. This season, the fans has been coming out and supporting. It doesn't matter if we're playing Cremonese or Milan or whatever. And we've just been showing support. And at the end of it, in my opinion, I just want a good game. If Inter lose, I want them losing with their heads high. If they win, let's keep going. You know what I mean? And then about the Brozovic, I think he should be okay to go for the derby, or at least should be on the bench for that one. But yeah, I think you hit the nail on the head. Come summer, we're gonna have to sell 2 players because one, we didn't make any money this summer, to be honest, and we need to still reach that 60 million balance in the books, whatever Suni has over our head. I hope to God, I can't wait till the day ends. Dumfries is going, And then Brozovic, guys, as much as we love Brozovic and how good he is, he's on the wrong side of 30 now. And on top of that, these injuries has been hitting hard. Like, I think the last time this guy played for us was probably against Juve. I could be wrong. And you know what I mean? And when you hit, when you hit, me and Anthony can tell, the older you get, the harder it is for you to come back from injuries, and it's not the same. And this guy is a workhorse. He covers the most distance. He's broke his own record. But at the same time, that usually doesn't last too long. And I think he'll probably be one of the guys to be sacrificed next up, because I don't think Dumfries alone will be enough this summer. But we'll definitely see. I'll see when he comes back. But at this moment, I like how the midfield, Hakan has completely made us forget about Brozovic, because there was a time when Brozovic is not on the field, Inter is not Inter. You know what I mean? And I think that was last season when he was away for the Genoa match and the Torino match and the Sassuolo match, and we were getting run up and down and forth. But we'll definitely see what it is. We'll give Brozovic the benefit of the doubt until come summer. But yeah, well, I just want a good game, see what happens.
Yeah, I just want a good game as well, man. To be honest, I just want everyone to just leave it out on the pitch, but also no injuries for me is important. The last thing you want is for
100%.
someone to go down in the derby. Speaking of, because we definitely won't have you back before the derby, that's for sure. Let's talk a little bit about that. Shout out to Uncle Shama. Thanks for popping in, predicting a Denzel goal for Hoyan. We'll see, bro.
Yeah, he
Big
almost got on the
Denzel.
score sheet last game. He almost got on the score sheet. I think he was one of our best players against Cremonese, but it's against Cremonese. I expect a lot from my boy. So, Mr. Dens,
Yeah.
hopefully gets one in there.
My favorite online Milanista CQ says, doesn't matter the result in this game, you will batter us 6-1 in the derby. What's going on, bro? What happened? How did it go like that for you guys so quick? You know why I just shake my head and I get frustrated? I'm not really bantering you guys too much. I'm like, because I could see that happening to us so easily. So easily. Like, I resonate with that drop in form so easily. We've seen that before, but this was bad. Last season, bro, these guys, I think Zlatan Ibrahimovic was actually slapping people on the back of the neck if they were having a bad game in the dressing room. I reckon his psychological influence is huge. Mike Magnan is a big loss for them, but this top four fight, bro, it's gonna be disgusting, man. It's gonna be brutal. This is like steel cage, Survivor
bottles
Series level
against
stuff,
the head.
man. Not good.
No, this is definitely this top four, and that's why I really want to focus on, because we need to take advantage of this moment. Everybody else is doing bad, to at least stack up some points. That way, if we do end up dropping, we got a little safety net. But I think there's something in the water in Milan, because both teams are dealing with some type of issues. You know what I mean? Rather it be performance wise, rather it be behind the door, closed doors. But yeah.
Yeah, I understand, man. It's going to be when we look at our fixtures that are coming up after Milan, it's very, very important to think about the points that can be picked up when they've got tough match days coming up. And we know that they've got tough match days coming up. We know that actually, can you do me a favor, man? Do you have the fixtures up or anything? Because if you can check those out, you can actually tell everybody what their fixtures are, because they're absolutely brutal.
Which one? Who you want me to start with? Inter
Milan.
or Milan? Okay.
Yeah.
So Milan, I can get that up real quickly.
Because I know that they were also having a decent run of fixtures, but I know that it's not going to go down well for them coming up soon. Yeah, I'm going to check.
Yeah, Milan is going to be playing, of course, us on Sunday, February 5th, or whenever February 5th is. Then Torino. Then they go to Champions League, they host Tottenham in the Champions League, and then they got Monza away, and we already know what Monza's doing right now. You do not want to play Monza at this moment. No. Atalanta, Fiorentina, and then Tottenham to get into March at that moment. So
tough run, man.
Tough run, yeah. I could see them losing points anywhere against Torino, against Monza, against Atalanta, or even Fiorentina. You know, so it's a very tough moment for them too.
Can Lukaku make a comeback this season?
I don't know what to do with this man, because every time I see this man, Anthony, I think about we lost out on Dybala, the one player that we needed that can dribble. Every time I see this guy on the pitch, every time I see this guy, he is the most expensive cheerleader we have. He reminds me that we lost on Paulo Dybala, the one player that would have made us click, man. Every time I haven't even watched Roma match until yesterday, because of the fact that I don't want to see Dybala performing, because that just brings anger and tears to my eyes that he could have been an Inter player. He was this close, Anthony. If this punk did not start crying to Chelsea and do whatever thing he did to come back Inter, Paulo Dybala could have been an Inter player. And there was a stat, I don't know who posted it. Inter is 20th in the league when it comes to dribbling.
Yeah.
We have nobody that can dribble. The only player that has the ability is Mrs. Tuku Correa. And we know he hasn't unlocked that yet. Apparently, he's still working at that. But Lukaku, goodness, what a horrible signing has been. Oh my gosh. The only way this white guy come back is at least if he bangs maybe 10 goals for us or maybe helps in the Champions League. But I'm sorry, when this guy steps on the pitch, especially against that Monza match, I knew right there and there it's done. It's not coming back. It's not.
For me, he can stay if he cuts his salary from 8.5 to 3. If you can flirt with a 3.5, which he won't do. You can't do that. Imagine that. If you want to cut your wage by 60%, you can stay, bro.
He still got to pay his bills. I have a feeling that he will stay due to the fact that that I think they're going to try to offload Correa as best as they can. Checo, we'll see. I think he wants I don't think he wants to take a pay cut. Why would you? Like, the man's balling out for us. You know what I mean? But I know Inter's kind of trying to lowball him. He'll probably move out. So it would be Lukaku would be the sense idea. And I don't think Chelsea's keen to bring him back. They got 1,600 other 100 players they sign every day. So they probably give us a good favorable discount. But I don't know, man. Lukaku, like, I really don't know. And this is the problem when you come back to your exes and you get back together. You think it's going to be better the second time around, and it just turns out to this. But I hope you're more positive. I hope somebody else is more positive about Lukaku. But I'm just done. If he does good, great. But sorry, bro.
Fair enough. I too would like to see Aslani get some minutes, like Matt Pickham is saying. Hopefully he starts ahead of Gagliardini. I think he's grown in confidence slightly, but he just needs another good couple of games under his belt where he plays the full 90, and I think that he'll start to look a lot better. What are you thinking about Aslani, bro?
No, 100%. 100%. Simone Inzaghi needs to understand Aslani is not going to get better on the bench. And matches like Cremonese is when he's supposed to be playing and he's supposed to be starting. You know what I mean? And this is the thing I have problem with Inter is the lies and the contradiction, because he told us Aslani is a vice Brozo. Okay, Brozovic. And when Brozo's not there, he's supposed to be starting. Why is he not starting the Cremonese match? You saw when he came on, the kid was disputing good. He's not a finished product, but there's a player there. So I definitely agree. Aslani needs way more time, especially the fact that we need to get younger. None of this, you know what I mean? Mkhitaryan can't play full 90 minutes, and we've seen that happen a lot of times. So this kid needs to get on the field as soon as possible, more often.
Yeah. I think so. I don't think Bellanova's dead at all. I echo what Uncle Sharma was saying. I was very disappointed when I heard him get booed. You know, it's just a trait that our fans sometimes do, and it's really, really disappointing because the kid's not bad, in my opinion. Yeah, he looks a little bit reckless and he looks a little out of his depth, but so what? He's coming from a team that is not even in the driver's seat to get promoted up from Serie B. Okay, it's a really, really big jump in quality, in expectation, and in intensity. Do I think he's right for Inter? I'll be honest, I haven't seen anything so far to suggest that we should sign him permanently, even though I've already read that we're kind of looking at it, or I think we might have even initiated for it. It's not an expensive fee. I think he is Serie A quality. Once again, I don't think he's been played into form. I don't think it's fair to judge him. I think what Matt Pickham says is very good here. I would also think of buying him cheap and loaning him out straight away, just like we did with DiMarco. What would you say to that, Hoyan?
So I might have bias Nimmo when it comes to Bellanova because my boy Dumfries, I want him to lock down that right back wing. But a couple of things about Bellanova that I look at. Yes, he has speed. I think he's probably the fastest player that we have. The kid's young, but I feel like Inter is too big for him at the moment. Especially the San Siro is relentless when it comes to youth players. And this has happened numerous times. We don't give youth players chances. It's very hard for us to be okay. Because for a youth player to be developed, they need to make mistakes. And you need to be okay that they're going to make mistakes. Inter is not the club to do that. Inter is a club at this moment, every point we're dying for. And maybe you guys are right, buy him and then loan him out. But at the same time, Inter doesn't have money to be able to do that especially under Sunni's management. And I don't think even the 7 million sounds so ridiculous low in this market, but we know who we are. I don't really see a Bellanova future for Inter. Maybe these next couple of months, I'll definitely give him a chance, unlike Lukaku, to prove me wrong. But I don't think, in my side, in my opinion, that he's Inter material. And I think he's older than Asllani, if I'm not mistaken. I think he's like 2 or 3 years older. So that just tells you the difference of class. Asllani, I think, is 20, and I think he's 22, 23. And you can literally tell when they step on the pitch. Give it, they play different positions, but you can tell there's a player in Asllani versus Bellanova.
Yeah. Fair. That's very fair, bro. Was there anything else that you wanted to chat about, man, while we've caught up today? Did I even ask you for your Atalanta prediction? I feel rude now. Did I even get it from you?
So I kind of dribbled around it because I hate giving out predictions. Last time I gave out a prediction, I always get kicked. But I'll just say I hope for a good game. Inter win. We'll see. I'm not gonna put numbers. I feel skeptical when I put out numbers out there.
True.
I think I did it against Empoli and we got beat. So I'm gonna leave it
probably
alone.
for the best for all of us then. What else, bro? Anything else that you wanted to chat about in the Intersphere before we get going?
I really, really want us to learn from this Skriniar debacle. We need to, like the milk's already spilled. We can move on from it. We need to learn from it because we got a couple of big contracts up, couple of players with contracts expiring in this next summer, not this summer, which is number one is Bastoni. And we know how many interests. Spurs want him. A lot of teams want him. He's a very unique player. A left-footed center back is very tough to find, especially with the ones that have the abilities and traits, especially when it goes forward as Bastoni. I hope the Inter management can get this guy locked down on a contract before June if they do not sell him. I know it's going to be hard. Rip the bandage. I don't want this to ever happen again, where we lose a player for free when we could have easily escape this. That's literally what I asked for. Don't repeat the mistake. You made a big, huge mistake that's also causing us effect, but please don't let it do. That's my thing I want to say out here.
Thank you very much, bro. Well said. Thank you to the 28 people that are still here. It's very, very, very nice. Ian Kerr agrees with you. Same here. Hope we learn from this. But at the same time, we didn't learn after Perisic. My faith in management is at an all-time low. I have to say, Ian, I'm going to have to agree with you there, man. And all we can do now is hope that, on the pitch, Inzaghi and the boys achieve their objectives, and Marotta and Ozilio know the bag that they're working with in the off season and still do the damage control that we know that they're capable of doing. Let's face it, we fumbled the Scudetto last season. If a couple of things go differently, we'll be sitting here about how Marotta waved a magic wand, got Lukaku out for 120 M's, pulled in Dzeko for how much he did, and we still retained the crown. So Absolutely. The zeros and ones they're so little. They're so fine at this point when you get to this level, man.
The thing I don't like about the management is the lies they're telling us. Like Morata, I used to trust Morata, but how are you going to go up there and tell me I'm optimistic about the Skriniar deal when you knew the man? Literally, his agent comes out and says, "We told these guys no in November. We told them again in January just to make sure they heard us." And you're going to come up there and say, "Oh, we're optimistic." I love transparency, and we're not asking you to give us the whole shebang of what's going on in the background. But don't sit there and lie to us and say, "Oh, we're optimistic a deal's going to be done," when you know absolutely it's not. And it's going to come out like it did the agent, because they try to paint, in agent's mind, they try to paint Skriniar as a scapegoat. So, yeah, I'm with Kerr. The management, I don't trust them. I don't like them. To be honest, if Morata left, I'll be fine with it because I feel like him and Ozilio, because whether we like it or not, this is a whole Italian league thing. We need to start becoming like the Benficas of the world, the Ajaxes of the world. As much as we hate it, that's the only way we're going to survive because we're not getting money off of anybody. Our sponsorship is not even paying us. We have literally a company on our shirt that's not giving us nothing. You know what I mean? So we need to be, and the good thing about when you buy young players, let's say we own Bellanova and he's not playing well for us, he still has a resale value because he's young. He can develop into something else. But when you're buying players that are 32, 33, 34, there's no resale value on Cherby. What are you going to get for him? You try to resell nothing. So I think they need to understand that the league is changing. We're not going to catch up to the Premier League in financial, and they need to switch it up. If they don't know how to switch it up, then move on because Suning doesn't have any money to work with. And 100%. If you can't, that's it.
That's it, man. Rocky says, I would like us to go for Okariki. I'm actually going to talk about him in about 12 minutes. So for the 28 people that are still here, if some of you haven't subscribed to my other channel, Football Worldwide, as soon as this finishes, I'll be going live there and doing a bit of a recap on Serie A in general with a fair few other fixtures because it was a really interesting match day. So anyone who's interested to keep talking Serie A, it won't be focused on Inter. It'll be focused on pretty much everything else, which would be nice. We're going to answer this one question from Ian Kerr, and then we are going to let it be for here. Here's a question. Do you think winning these trophies is papering over the cracks off the pitch? Of course it is, to a degree. Like, of course it is. Like, that's exactly what it says it's doing. But at the same time, there's no version of not papering over the cracks in Italy unless you're Napoli. I never thought De Laurentiis could have pulled off what he's doing at the moment. He's done an amazing job, especially in a season where he got rid of the core and the spine and the backbone, the mentality. Mertens, Insigne, Koulibaly, was it Fabian Ruiz as well? Did he leave? He went to Paris, didn't he?
Paris, yeah.
Like that's nuts, man. They lost so many of their key players, and they have just done a madness this season. So Milan's Scudetto even papered over their cracks, you could say, to an extent, the same way ours did after we realized Conte was going to leave. But trophies at the moment, Ian, considering what our rivals are going through, if we can just keep collecting them, I'll be happy. Winning trophies is the aim. And right now, we can sit here and say that we've won a trophy 3 seasons in a row. And that feels good. That feels good to me. That feels good to me knowing that my team is a winner every single season. Even if it is just papering over the cracks a little bit. What do you say, Hoyan?
No, as much as I hate Steven Zhang and his trophy celebration every time.
The dress,
I swear to God, this man makes me hate the fact that we won a trophy. Just how he's gloating and celebrating when you literally know he's the cause of the problem. But no, I 100% agree with you. Winning trophies, it makes you feel like you accomplished something. That's what we play for the game for. At the moment, he is right. We are putting besides our we're covering up a lot of our issues that we have. But at the end of the day, that's why we play the game. If we're not playing the game to win trophies, what's the point of playing?
Yeah, but Ian Kerr's in 2033. That's what I'm saying. He already had something ready to go before we started talking. Is it going to take a trophyless year to get Sunning out of here? And that's probably the best way to back up what he's saying, papering over the cracks. Are we going to go through the same turmoil next season, not win a trophy, and then go up in arms when really, like Ian Kerr's been saying for I don't know how many days now, you can put your counter in here, but he's been wanting them out for a long, long time. And there's no way back for them now, bro. They just need to leave. They need to leave. Project is done.
Yeah, like Nima always says in his pods and everything, if you guys know him, the Inter project's been dead. It's been dead since Conte. Conte said it, I think, August of that COVID year, that it's over. The project is dead. And ever since then, they've just been slowly trying to, like the ship is sinking. All they're doing is putting plugs in, but it's going to sink. And I think 2024 is the big year. Either they default on the loan with Oak Tree and Oak Tree takes over Inter and then probably sells it off, or they find a buyer for this ridiculous $1 billion they're estimating it, which I don't think they're ever going to find anybody at that rate. But yeah, Sunning's killing us.
Exactly. Yeah. All right, guys, that's all we're going to have time for today. As I said, jump over to Football Worldwide on YouTube to hear me talk about the latest match day and everything that's going on in Serie A. Thank you so much to my boy Hoyan. It was great to see you again, bro.
Same here, bro. I'm glad I was able to catch up with you. I know our time zones are really bad, but I saw your notifications. I got to go chat with my boy. A lot's happened with the team, see what's going on. Hopefully I see you guys. Thank you for everybody in there in the chat, and everybody just hang in there, guys. We're Inter. Just remember, tough times don't last. Tough people do. And I think this season we're going to figure out which players, which management, who's in their mind for Inter. Because the players that stick with us in this moment are going to be with us in the future and take us further.
That's it. Thank you so much, bro. Forza Inter Worldwide.
Forza Inter.